Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're cracking open Brandon Stone's Have You Tried Restarting It?
Yeah, interesting title.
It is, and our mission today, we're going to navigate this core idea he has that changing habits is like updating your personal operating system.
Hmm, the OS of you. I like that.
Exactly. We'll focus on how to pinpoint those malware habits, the ones draining you, and figure out the very first steps towards change.
Right, without it feeling like this massive, overwhelming system overhaul that's doomed to fail.
Precisely. And our source is Brandon Stone's book itself.
Yep, pulling insights directly from there. The goal is to give you, the listener, a clear starting point, something actionable.
Okay, so this personal operating system idea, Stone really hammers home the first step, understanding your current habitual landscape.
Right, you can't fix what you don't understand.
And the key tool, tracking. He suggests diligently tracking everything for a whole week.
Everything. Seems like a lot.
It does, yeah, but why is that so crucial?
Well, think about it like running diagnostics. You wouldn't just guess what's wrong with your computer, right? You look at the logs, the data.
Okay, makes sense.
Same principle here.
Yeah.
We often think we know our habits. Oh, I procrastinate too much, or I'm always on my phone.
Yeah, those general feelings.
Exactly. But tracking forces you to see the reality, the actual frequency, the context. When does it happen? What triggers it?
So it moves beyond just feeling bad about something.
To objective data, it can reveal, unconscious patterns you weren't even aware of.
Okay, so we track for a week, get this data dump. Then Stone brings in the software analogy. Good habits are efficient apps.
Running smoothly, helping you out.
But the negative ones, they're the malware.
Yep. Procrastination, maybe endless social media scrolling, unhealthy eating patterns.
Things that just hog your mental energy and drag you down.
Precisely. They undermine your well-being, your productivity, like malware slowing down your system.
So just like with actual malware, you have to identify it first.
Right. You need to look carefully at that data you tracked. Find those recurring behaviors that are negatively impacting you.
Whether it's mental health, focus, whatever.
Yeah. And Stone makes a really important point here. Approach this self-discovery with kindness.
Not beating yourself up about it.
Exactly. It's about understanding, not self-criticism. That just makes change harder.
Now, why are some of these habits, this malware, so hard to uninstall? He talks about dopamine.
Ah, yes. The brain's reward chemical. Very powerful.
He says highly rewarding activities give you a big dopamine hit, making them more likely to become, well, compulsive.
Yeah, and addictive substances are sort of the extreme example. They completely hijack that reward system.
But it's not just the immediate reward, is it? There's something about anticipation.
That's a key insight. Our brains actually release more dopamine in anticipation of a reward, or when a reward is unexpected.
Huh. So the waiting can be as addictive as the thing itself?
In a way, yeah. That reward prediction error, the brain gets excited about the possibility. It explains why intermittent reinforcement, like sometimes winning on a slot machine, is so potent. It keeps you hooked.
Okay, that connects to triggers and environment then.
Absolutely.
Stone points out how environmental cues like walking past a bakery.
Suddenly you crave a croissant, even if you weren't hungry.
Right, so understanding those cues is vital for changing habits, especially around food.
It is. And it leads to this idea of mindful environmental design, basically shaping your surroundings to support your goals.
So making the good choice the easy choice.
Exactly. If junk food triggers you, don't keep it in the house. If your phone distracts you during work, put it in another room.
It's about reducing exposure to those triggers for the unwanted habits.
Yeah, consciously structuring things to minimize temptation. It's a practical strategy.
Okay, but even knowing all this, changing habits feels big, daunting.
It often does, which is why Stone really emphasizes the power of small, incremental changes.
Like really small.
Sometimes surprisingly small. He talks about it like the compound interest of self-improvement.
Ah, okay. Like investing tiny amounts regularly.
Precisely. Even just 1 minute of exercise a day, or reading 1 page of a book, it seems insignificant.
But over time.
It adds up massively. Think 5 minutes of language learning daily. Over a year, that's significant progress.
And the benefit is that it's sustainable, right? You don't burn out.
Exactly. Gradual adaptation is key. Trying to overhaul everything overnight usually leads to failure. Small steps let your body and mind adjust.
Whether it's fitness, learning, even relationships.
It applies broadly, and it builds resilience.
How so?
Well, back to the software analogy. If you make small changes, a setback isn't a total system crash, it's just a minor glitch.
It's like a software patch needed, not a full reinstall.
You got it, miss a day, it's a bug, you fix it, you get back on track tomorrow. No big drama.
So consistency over intensity.
That's the core principle. Small, consistent effort beats sporadic, intense bursts every time. Find a rhythm you can actually stick with.
And be kind to yourself if you slip up.
Self-compassion is crucial.
Okay, so this idea of starting small carries right into his restart process. First step, laser focus.
Right. Not just vague goals like be healthier or be more productive.
Pick one specific habit to transform.
Yes. Get specific. Then he suggests categorizing it.
Yeah.
How does this habit impact different areas?
Like productivity, maybe too much gaming, finances, impulsive online shopping.
Mental well-being, does it fuel anxiety? Physical health, that innate snacking habit. Thinking about the impact helps clarify why you want to change it.
And then digging deeper than just the action itself.
Yes, exploring the why. What feeling is driving this habit? Boredom, loneliness, stress, anxiety.
Because if you don't understand the underlying feeling,
Your strategy to break the habit might miss the mark entirely. You need to address the root cause, not just the symptom.
he also briefly mentions using tech to help.
Yeah, habit tracking apps like HabitShare, he notes. They can help visualize your progress, see patterns.
Sometimes they add game elements, which can help motivation.
They can be useful tools for sure, but they're just tools. The real work is internal.
Which brings us back full circle, really, to that critical first step.
Accurate identification, knowing exactly what you want to change and why.
Stone really emphasizes that the power to change starts right there, with self-discovery.
Absolutely. The clearer your understanding of the problem habit, the malware, the more effective your solution, your uninstall process will be.
So to kind of wrap up this first part of our deep dive,
Oh.
focusing on just getting started, the main takeaway seems to be understand your system first.
Yeah. Know your current operating system, your habits. Use tracking to get objective data.
Identify the specific malware that's causing problems, the energy drains.
And remember the power of starting small. Tiny, incremental steps. That's where lasting change begins.
It's less overwhelming that way.
Definitely. So here's a final thought for you to mull over, maybe as you start thinking about tracking. What's one seemingly small application, one habit in your daily routine that, if you actually tracked it for a week, might really surprise you with its impact?
Positive or negative impact?
Could be either, but just tracking it might reveal its true weight in your system, something to consider as a very first step.
Interesting. A good starting point for that self-discovery. We'll definitely dive deeper into Stone's strategies next time.